I've handled dozens of balls over the past week.
You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And this is part one of our two-part Super Bowl show. Or shows, I guess.
You can't use Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll get sued. We'll get a cease and desist.
American football style league championship game.
Or we could say what everybody else says when they're done after the team wins it. World Championship of American Football. We're the world champions, even though you've only played it in the United States.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Today we are going to bet the game itself, and tomorrow we will do an entire show on props bets, which is always a lot of fun. And there are so many. The number of props, I swear, Boyd, since we've been doing this, they go up every year, don't they?
We were just kind of looking over it before we started. It's ridiculous how many there is. I don't even know how we're going to narrow it down
We'll have
bet
to
on
discuss
anything.
that after we record this tonight and figure out a plan of attack for tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind of like the player props more than... Like last year, I think we bet on Russell Wilson under 200. We won by half a yard.
Yeah, because Pete Carroll pulled him late.
Yeah. And they threw an incompletion that would have put it over before they pulled him. His last pass was incomplete. It was like, whew. And then we got the Tavares Jackson finish. So it was good. But let's get on to this podcast.
Okay, I just want to say at the start, and I really don't want to waste much time on this. We talked about it last week. The entire Ballgazzi scandal is meaningless in football terms, but the only meaning that is now everyone will forever and always think of the New England Patriots as cheaters. And I enjoy that.
It had no bearing on the game.
No. And even if they did it on the season, I don't think in real football terms it means a sweet goddamn.
Well, okay, well, explain to me this then. If they replaced the balls with properly inflated ones in the second half, how come if this was such an advantage, why did they score 28 in the second half and only 17 in the first?
Agreed. That said, if the 11 of 12 balls being underinflated, it shows something that's been sort of a characteristic of the Belichick era. It doesn't make that big a difference, but they try it anyway.
But all teams are trying it.
Oh, I know.
They're all
but you
trying
don't have to. I know, but one team gets caught, and that delights me. Because honestly, over the years, I've been so sick of we tackle by the books, we do everything by the books.
No, but why? Okay, but explain to me this in a larger picture, not just including the Patriots. We glorify teams in the past that bent the rules, or players. We glorify. In baseball, Gaylord Perry's in the Hall of Fame for throwing a spitball. Nowadays, we'd run him up the fucking flagpole, and he'd be labeled a cheater and never get in the Hall of Fame. What's changed? The Raiders were known as bending every rule in the book in the 70s, and they're a glorified team from the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Guys would put casts on their hands that weren't hurt, so they could club you in the side of the head with it on the pass rush.
They'd grease their jerseys and coat themselves and stick them. I mean, that's all true. I'm just saying that what I like about this is that it's clear from what happened last week that the Patriots don't want to be known as that. Well, too bad, guys. You are. Belichick's strange Mr. Science presser? When would Belichick have done that in the past? It's like the balls are uninflated, fuck you. would have been his response. He's actually concerned now about his reputation.
No, because, okay. So were they cheating with the Giants when he won 2 as D coordinator? Like, come on. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. They're all looking for an advantage any way they can get it. It's the Patriots are looked at more often than other teams.
Because they've been caught before.
No, because they win. You don't think this has anything to do with them being the team of the last 15 years? 6 Super Bowls in 13 years?
Well,
you don't think there's some sour grapes? I didn't hear them. I didn't hear the Ravens bitch when they beat New England twice in New England.
Oh, I know. In the
playoffs?
Well, I think it's all garbage.
I didn't hear anything about cheating or anything.
This will always be mentioned.
No,
I mean, even
not.
Bill Simmons and his buddy J-Bug admit that this is now what the future perception of this era of the Patriots will be. Whether it will become charming cheaters like the Raiders or whether it will just be cheaters. And I enjoy that.
Who even talks about teams in the World Series? The Red Sox had Manny Ramirez. Are they known as a team of cheaters? No. They had David Ortiz test. They've won 3 World Series. Did anybody? Nothing will happen legacy-wise. Nobody gives a fuck. Especially if they don't do it in baseball, if those fucking Puritan assholes in baseball don't bring it up every time you talk about the 2004, 7, and 10 Red Sox, then fuck. Nobody's going to fucking remember anything.
Well, they will because they still bring up, myself included, Spygate is brought up whenever the early run is there. For whatever reason, they're not going to shake it.
Sour grapes.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So Kurt Warner couldn't throw a pass or complete a pass because the Patriots cheated. They knew all their signals, every play. They knew everything that was going on. And no other team's ever tried to steal signals before. Ever. I know that never happens. They're all pure. Nobody else has done that. I'm not saying it's right, but they're all doing it. They steal signs in baseball. They do whatever they can to try and win. Scuff a baseball, underinflate a football. To me, it's much ado about nothing.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I think we've already spent as much time as we need to on this. But
the only thing that's keeping it a story is the press.
Oh, yeah, it's press outside of football.
Does not give a fuck.
Oh, I know.
Everybody on the Super Bowl Sunday just wants to drink and eat and watch fucking commercials. The 44 million that fucking watch the championship games, those are mostly the fans of football. The other 50 million they get are, every office has one, or 7, or 100. Oh, did you see the commercials? Fuck, They fucking couldn't tell you Russell Wilson from Tom Brady if you put their pictures up side by side without their jerseys on. So, who gives a fuck? There's so many other storylines in this game. Pete Carroll facing his old team, old owner. No, you haven't heard fuck all about it.
Nope.
There's been nothing.
Marshawn Lynch doesn't talk, and you've heard about footballs.
Like, when I need to see Bill Nye the Science Guy on the sports fucking highlights, we're getting a little fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but that was brought on by Belichick trying to be Bill Nye the Science Guy. Did you watch that? I mean, that was
I don't care.
Out of character for Belichick to even address the issue. See, and by doing that, he's participating in creating this bigger. Why didn't Bill Belichick do what he always does in this sort of situation? Shut up, next question.
No, but you know why? Because he's using it to motivate them. Just like he did when they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. I totally believe that. They're in full-on fuck you mode right now. I agree with Simmons. They're totally I'm not saying it's changing how I'm thinking of betting or influencing that in any way, but they're in full fuck you mode. That's why Belichick's taking.
Awfully confused.
But who's okay? Is anybody else talking anything except fucking Belichick right now? And what he talked about and what he did? Nope. They're not asking the players aren't fucking. He's taking all the heat off the players now for this week.
Well, except for
that
Tom
was
Brady.
Totally calculated. No, but that's totally calculated why he came out on Saturday for the second press conference.
Well, yeah,
that was
the first
calculated.
conference though he did say. Have you ever heard him do that? I don't know anything about it. Ask Tom, who then looked. Have you ever seen Tom look that out of sorts at a press conference or in any situation in his life?
No, but he's the only... Okay. He's never been involved in one controversy. Outside of Spygate.
And his coach just said, do it.
No. But they were good. He was the natural one they were going to ask anyway. Who handles the football? Who are you going to talk to? Who's suspect number one in fucking doing this? It's Brady. It has to be Brady. Who's instructing? If somebody did tamper with the footballs, do you think it was Belichick fucking instructing them to do that without Brady knowing?
Oh, absolutely. But
no,
very un-Belichickian to throw Tom under the bus, and realized that it was wrong and came out with his bizarre Saturday unrequested science press conference. I just think that they're not manipulating. I disagree, but. All right, let's get to the game.
Why? That's all they're going to talk about during the game.
Well, that's possible.
So
well, it is Al Michaels. He'll keep it under control.
No, they read that fucking prepared statement. Nah, it's all fucking about Goodell and that whole fucking bullshit. Oh, and for those of you who want to be depressed during the Super Bowl, I've got the most depressing commercial ever to be run during the Super Bowl will be run on Sunday. The new domestic violence ad they're going to run on Sunday. I don't know how you go back to watching football after watching it, but just take a peek at it for yourselves.
I haven't seen it yet. So.
It's fucking soul crushing and is going to take any of the oomph that's in the game for after that. I don't know how. I honestly don't know for the casual fan, and you get a lot of women watching. I don't know how before I watched the commercial, I was actually thinking, I'm going to do some like funny little fucking post with it. Couldn't.
Great.
You know how the comedians have been making fun of the other ones? Well, why does that need to be? We just want to watch football? And like Bill Burr, for one, has said that, what is it? Just guys that watch football? We're not all wife beaters like the players in the NFL. Why do you need to preach that at us?
Yeah.
This one's, you can't even joke about it. Because I believe it's an actual 911 call. And it's fucking like a whole total fucking emotional fuck. If you have a soul, I don't know why it's a tough watch. But okay. Take a look at that on the website if you want to be depressed.
Okay.
Good start, eh?
Yeah. We're flying today. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to bet overall in the game, and then we are going to bet against the spread on the first and second half. I alluded to it last week, said I would think about it, and I am still on the Seahawks, Boyd.
Me too.
Okay, I wasn't sure where you'd go.
Well,
and I'm not even sure where I'd go. Like, I would have listened.
I'm still not.
It's a tough game, and a 1-point spread. Well, it should be a tough game, right? It's
now My one concern is last year we're seeing the same thing in the betting. Seattle opened as a favorite, and the money poured in on New England.
Yes.
The money poured in on Denver last year.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I like it.
That's why I like Seattle.
Fading the public is not a bad thing generally. Underdogs have done well in Super Bowls. I would add to it, I prefer the superior defense in big one-shot games.
Well, and we bet the Giants against Brady because of their defense.
Yeah.
And they weren't even as good as Seattle's during the season. And we bet their pass rush against the Patriots' O-line. Their O-line's shaky this year. And they have no running game, which I think is going to allow Sherman my guess is going to be on Edelman.
I disagree, because the one weakness in Sherman is covering the inside slot. I think he's just going to remove LaFell from the equation, and I think they're going to have Browner punch up Edelman underneath.
Browner's in New England.
Oh,
Chancellor.
Chancellor, yes.
No, he's going on Gronk.
That's a possibility too.
They're doubling him.
Well,
the no running game.
Still playing too, right?
Wagner and Chancellor will double team Gronk. That's why I was thinking Sherman would cover Edelman. But they may not want him tackling that much with the bad wing.
And again, thinking back to the Chargers-Seattle game, where they get Sherman is on quick little interior slants. If Sherman has a weakness in his game, that's it. So I think Edelman's a bad matchup. But
you don't need to put him on LaFell, though. You don't need to put him on LaFell. LaFell's useless. That's where I'm thinking Edelman. Yeah. LaFell's not scaring you. You could put a nickel on him.
Well, I think they will concentrate certainly on Edelman. How they do it, I mean, you're right with the arm injury. Otherwise, I would have said they would put Sherman as the second guy onto Gronk, but you don't want him taken out of the game.
No, Wagner and Chancellor will handle Gronkowski. Who's their other corner?
I was hoping you'd just come in with his name because my
is
brain
it Bennett?
is blanking. No, Bennett's their lineman.
Williams? Fuck. Kelvin Jenkins. That's who it is.
Yeah, Kelvin Jenkins. He's going to have a big game.
Oh, fuck. And I've only read about him all week with the fucking injuries.
But I still like the way they match up.
Well, we saw Justin Forsett run goofy against New England.
Yes. And
Maxwell.
Okay, there
Byron
we go.
Maxwell.
Thank you. I think and the other thing is New England has not faced a real running quarterback. And I think, particularly, you saw at the end of the Green Bay game, you suddenly started running Wilson out around the edges. Everyone talks about how Belichick takes away your strongest weapon. Well, what does he take away? Lynch in the middle or Wilson on the edge? Because I don't think he has the personnel to take them both out of the game.
No.
I don't think Wilson's going to throw for 1 billion yards, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 80 on the ground. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Well, my guess is Seattle's first play from scrimmage is going to be play action pass. Because they're going to be expecting them to go after Lynch. They'll try a deep. I think they're going to try a deep hitter first play.
Yeah.
Because you got to loosen up the linebackers. If they want to take away Lynch, okay, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that at all.
Or it might even, the other thing could be is the pistol where they do the read option.
Well, I do think we'll see a lot of read option.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of read option. So, I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. New England against really strong defenses, for the most part this season, was held under 20. And
can Russell Wilson play as bad as he did against Green Bay again?
Well, exactly. That's the outlier right now. You know, if he does again, I'm all on board with you that he stinks. But as a functionary in the offense, he's usually been really good ball security. Like, that game was just so statistically unusual for him that to bet on it happening again, I don't see it.
But are they going to outthink themselves again? Like, their first couple of drives where he got picked off against Green Bay, they weren't running Lynch at all. They came out chucking the ball, and it's like, well, why? When your strength is Marshawn Lynch and you've used him not sparingly, but he wasn't like a workhorse during the regular season. Now's the time he should be getting 25 carries a game.
Yeah, even though they do have guys who are capable of positive yardage, and I think they're capable of positive yardage against New England's line too. You don't have to burn him out, and you can still have him at 12 or 13 and then just pound him in the fourth. I wouldn't disagree with that at all either.
I just hope that they're not trying to outthink themselves like they did against Green Bay, throwing that much, and then they panicked. The only thing that saved them was Green Bay out-panicked fucking Seattle.
Yeah, at the end.
In the last 5
plus
minutes.
Seattle's defense played a brilliant game. Like, how terrible was their position in that game?
But Marlon, that doesn't even matter. If Green Bay doesn't have a total fucking meltdown in the last 5 minutes, coaches, players, everything we discussed last week, we're talking about Green Bay here.
Well, and in some ways, though, if Baltimore can make a crisp tackle once or twice, we're not talking about New England either. Both of these teams have survived a scare that I think was more on the opposing team than the victor, though I give much more credit to New England for generally being cool and steady and not panicking. But if there are 3 or 4 times there where if Baltimore makes a routine tackle, that game's over.
Or doesn't try and throw a fucking Hail Mary with a minute left.
Yeah. So both teams avoided it. Again, I tend to favor defenses in this type of game.
Yeah, I think Seattle could get pressure on Brady. He doesn't like pressure anymore. He can't really throw deep very well. And their biggest weapon, I think Seattle is a perfect matchup with Wagner and Chancellor bracketing him.
Yeah.
They're going to double him all game and let Maxwell and Sherman go single on the rest of those goofs.
And as much as I admire Edelman as a player, for him to be your top wide receiver, I still think says that there's something systemically wrong. But, I mean, I guess he's perfect for that system because, as you said, Brady can't really throw the ball deep.
And that's their running game.
Velocity or accuracy anymore.
But that's their running game, is those 4-yard passes to him. Now, does New England try and pound the ball with Blount?
That, I think, might happen because Jonathan Stewart had a good, solid running game against Seattle for 3 quarters.
But Seattle also had to worry about Cam Newton running.
That's true, and that's
which kind of
clearly
softens
not
that
a threat
up
for Brady. But,
no.
I envision New England trying to run a very similar game plan to what San Diego did. I know it was a long time ago and Seattle wasn't playing nearly as well. You know, it was night and day, but it was get that ball out of there in a second and a half, your goal is 4 yards of play. You're not looking for anything deep. You will just keep grinding it against them. You will run for 4 yards. You will pass for 4 yards.
Now you're almost making me think different.
Well, it's a 1-point spread.
But that's the quarterback that could do it.
It really kind of is, isn't it? And that's why I went back and forth over the last 10 days before. I don't think we outthink ourselves here either. We were both kind of on Seattle, and I think we stick with that.
Yes, but I had people coming in the store all week. Who are you picking? In the last 10 days, who are you picking? And I'm like, I honestly don't know yet. Because I could argue this both ways. Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk at all over these last 2 weeks, really. And I thought, if Boyd comes in wanting New England, I'm going to stick by Seattle, but I'm certainly going to listen to him. You could change my mind. It's a really tough game to call.
Well, you've got the best quarterback of this generation.
Yes.
Playing again with the best head coach of the last 20 years.
Though Carroll is no slouch as a coach himself.
No.
The coaching gap is not as enormous as it is usually when Belichick plays. It's a different style, but Carroll has almost never had a problem getting the troops motivated.
No. And I was going to say it works with this team. That's why it works with this particular group, because they do have so many late round draft picks or free agents that nobody else thought could do anything. And his college-y kind of coaching works at raw style.
Yeah.
That a lot of veteran teams it wouldn't work with.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way, but there's a lot of accuracy in that.
And he's got the perfect group of guys for his style of coaching. They've all bought in, where if he went to a team like Harbaugh took over, I don't think it works the same, like in San Francisco with that group. I don't think it would have worked. But Seattle they had nothing. He came in, kept all these guys. It was like at USC. He could get any pick he wanted of the top recruits out of high school. And it was all just based on how you played. There was no bullshit. You just either play. It didn't matter if you were the top recruit or the 7th running back they signed. If you were better in practice, you played. And he did that in the NFL. And those guys that are playing now that he kept that weren't the high draft picks, they'll fucking do anything for him.
Yep. And each other, really.
It's a totally different atmosphere.
That's one of the most cohesive teams, player to player, that I've ever seen.
No, well, you can't say that.
Well,
they had to get rid of Golden Tate because he was banging Russell Wilson's wife.
They cut out
allegedly.
They cut out the tumors like Harvin and Golden Tate.
No, I know, but you can't say they were that tight knit when they're punching each other out before Super Bowls.
Wow, that was those two. I'm speaking of this team. Like, I don't know. I like the way they play together. I think they're a much more physical team than anything New England's faced. My other one worry is Baltimore's pass rush, that New England O-line, suspect, but they had a hell of a game against Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore's defense isn't. Baltimore's defense is living on fucking 10 years ago reputation. Like, it's not the same. Those Steeler games and the Ravens, they weren't even close to the same.
That's true. In terms
nobody
of
will
pure
say
physicality, yes.
Nobody fucking said it. The Steelers are living on their reputation, the Ravens on their defense. And I know the rules have something to do with it, but they're not as physical as teams. They don't hit like this. Now, the other thing, which we kind of touched on, which could hurt Seattle, is how healthy are those corners? Like, can they tackle? Like, I know Maxwell played the last 3 quarters of that game or last half with a brace on. But if Sherman goes to make one tackle and gets his arm wrenched on, is he out? Like, you're not playing Tom Brady with one arm for the whole fucking game.
No. But that's where New England's lack of a truly credible deep threat really helps Seattle.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'd still run at them.
If they keep playing in the underneath, well, you're still going to have to, you're going to run somebody down the field all the time. But if most of the game is taking place underneath, Seattle flows to the ball and gang tackles. Sherman going out earlier would obviously devastate, but, so would Gronk.
No, I know, but Seattle was lucky that it happened at the end of that game. Because you don't think Rodgers would have went at him with one arm? There was only like 7-8 minutes left in that game, or when they were trying to bleed the clock out when he got hurt.
Yeah.
So they didn't really throw the ball after he got hurt.
It's very worrisome, I agree, but I can't factor in a player maybe getting injured early.
No. I'm just saying, but we don't know how healthy they are, is what I'm saying. Not like, you can tell me they're playing and they can line up and play, but that doesn't mean 3 plays in, they're done. How many times have we seen that? Oh, he's going to go. He's going to give it a go. And then their pass rush and run defense are based on their corners.
I'd be more worried. I would be more worried if Baltimore were the opponent, with a quarterback who throws a good deep ball and a couple of good deep receivers and an underneath. I think ultimately New England is limited in the way they can attack. Theoretically, Belichick might see it all, but do you really see Brady putting 135 yards through the air at this stage of his career? I didn't see it all year.
Only to Gronk.
Well, and
that's
half of
the other
that
big
was,
matchup.
Yeah, that's a huge matchup. But if any team can control Gronk, I think Seattle is probably the best built to do it.
Yeah. This game is so fucking hard to call. But I just, you know what the deciding factor was for me? The Giants beating them twice. They just, against good defenses, the Patriots just aren't the same team. They don't have the weapons.
Well,
they're not athletic enough to beat them.
This sounds like a little... I like to fade the public. And when Seattle opened at 3 or 2.5 everywhere, and now we're getting them at 1, I can't help but look at that and think I'm getting 3.5 points of value here.
Oh, no, granted. But my determining factor was, because I hadn't even looked at the line. I'd heard it on TV and stuff. I didn't look at the line till I pulled up the website before we started the podcast. Because I didn't want it to cloud my judgment, and I based it on the Giants.
Okay.
My pick was based on the Giants and how Brady and Belichick handled, and they had Josh McDaniels for one of those, did they not? The first Giants Super Bowl they lost, was McDaniels not the offensive coordinator?
I think he was, yeah. And
then he got the Denver job.
Yeah.
But they don't have a running back. Blount's not going to run for 70 yards against that defense, like on one play.
No, okay. I was kind of thinking, bust one. No, I think he might get 70.
Oh yeah, but he's not going to bust. They don't have to worry about him breaking one off. He's not like Le'Veon Bell or someone that's going to bust one. They don't really have a deep threat outside of Gronkowski. LaFell's not scaring anybody. Sherman could cover him with one arm.
Yeah. And if he is on him, maybe they say something about his arm. But
unless the Patriots have figured out some way to get Gronkowski open again, that's him against Chancellor and Wagner is the biggest matchup of the game. Determining factor. Because if New England can't get him open and get him 8 to 10 catches, they have no hope.
No, I agree. And one other minor factor is the Baltimore game was already kitchen sink. You don't think Belichick wouldn't have liked to have pulled out that Shane Vereen ineligible play in the Super Bowl?
They might do it again.
They probably will, but now everyone's going to be prepared for it.
Well, we'll see. Like, that's the thing. You can coach them on it, but they've never played it. It's not like, we've practiced all this stuff all our lives. We know what to do instinctually. Like, it's surprising to me that they'd never seen it before. One. Or that you wouldn't... The Patriots are going to do some shit in this game, too.
Yeah, I think the well might be getting a little dry.
Yeah, well, I didn't see Seattle throwing a fake field goal in there either. Do you think that Belichick wants to lose 3 Super Bowls in a row?
Nobody does, but
he becomes the Buffalo Bills almost. You forget about the 3 he won 10 years ago. And remember the last 3.
Well, and even though, remember, the 3 he won were not blowouts. Like, he's never just come in and blown a team out. 2 of them, I believe, were last-minute field goals. Philly and Carolina.
I could see this line moving again before the Super Bowl. Because we're still like 5 days out.
Yeah, but
I think it even go to Pick'em or Seattle by a half a point. My late money's going to come in on Seattle.
Vegas doesn't hang a line of 2.5 without justification. And you could say, oh, well, that was before they beat on Indy. Beating on Indy is not that big a deal. Like, I don't think that would affect Vegas thinking in any level.
No, that got Patriot money in.
Yeah. Oh, and a huge amount of Patriot money. The numbers I was looking at
which is what they were after.
Said 74 to 76% of the wagers were on the Patriots at this stage.
And that just goes to show you that average fucking Joe doesn't give a fuck about that whole controversy we were talking about before.
Oh, that's true. I know.
They don't... People out there are... They want a dominant team. And the Patriots were that team for the last 13 years.
Well, yeah, and another thing you heard about all year was Andrew Luck. So if you don't watch and see that Andrew Luck is amazing without a team around him, and the Patriots just destroy him after he destroyed Peyton, it's very easy to make the assumption that New England is just this unbelievable powerhouse. And I think they're a damn good football team. I do think they're the best team in the AFC. And I'm kind of glad they got to the Super Bowl, being the best team.
I bet you could trend betting based on the popularity of the starting quarterback.
That'd be an interesting thing to look at. But you know, that's exactly what I was saying.
Brady's the biggest star. Brady's the biggest star, arguably. Maybe Manning's a little below him. Not endorsement-wise, but football fan-wise and general knowledge people, casual fan.
Yeah. I think the empty fan goes for Peyton. He's way more visible.
They go for... No, but in a game like this, they're going for Brady.
Yeah.
Because they've heard nothing but Brady for 13, 14 years.
Yeah. All right.
And they're basing this on... The people, the general public is basing this bet on Brady. And thinking he is better than Russell Wilson, but that's not what's going to be the deciding factor in this game.
Well, yeah, football's a team sport with, essentially 4 teams, 2 defenses and 2 offenses.
I wonder what the spread was in those Giants games. Patriots are favored in both of those.
Well, the 19-0 favorites, 7.5?
Yeah, they had the high-scoring offense in history that year, too.
Yeah. And the Giants were a wild card team that didn't look like it was gelling, and there was talk of firing their coach in midseason.
Yeah.
But All right, let's book the Seahawks before we talk ourselves into circles.
And we're taking them to win. We're not betting that fucking point.
All right.
I'm not giving up that money, as little as it is.
I would have taken that point, but it's not something I feel strongly about. So.
Why won't it let it? Oh, there it is. Okay. But what value are you getting out of that point? At minus 115.
You're getting a dime value out of it. So, yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing. So.
No, but like even gambling-wise, even money was if they were both minus 110, the point gives you nothing other than a push.
Yeah.
It gives you a push in a 22-21 game. Like, when do you get 1 point? I know we've had them and lost on them. But when do you ever get... How many games do you get at a point? Like it's 3 or 4.
Oh, we usually...
7.
Boyd, I'm not arguing strongly, because we usually bet 2.5s. We usually take the money line.
Yeah.
So don't worry about me.
Okay. No, I was getting into it for the average fan, too.
Yeah, true.
That the 1 point is meaningless. It saves you your money if it's a 27-26 or 24-23 game. Like, that's all it does. And we need to win some fucking cash.
This is true.
So, we have the Seahawks on the money line, minus 105, $10 pays $19.52. See, if we were getting that point and that return, like the 1952, and I know we're betting small dollars, but the logic is still the same.
Yeah.
There's no point giving up those 10, the minus 115 to minus 105 for a point.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking wishy-washy hedging that, if they lose by a point. Yeah, if it was 6, yeah. I take the points. 1 makes no sense.
Yeah,
even my guess is,
even if we'd gotten it at 2 and 2.5, I probably would have made a stronger argument to take the points because that's where it's cratered.
Yes. Yeah, you have some where there's some benefit to giving up that 10 points.
Yes.
On your bet.
Yes.
There's no value in it to me at 1 to save my 10. If the Patriots win by 1. Good on them.
Yeah.
I'll fucking throw in my $10.
You won't have to do that. We've agreed.
Okay. Well, we might want to, because I have a feeling these first half and second half lines are. Second half line's not even. Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's not on the board yet, so we can bet the first half lines.
Okay.
Do we maybe want to go another half a point?
For New England.
Yeah.
I like New England in the first half. As we've been following these Seahawks down, they do not score a lot of points in the first 3 quarters.
And it seems to take them a half to figure out the offense, and then they...
Plus, they physically punish the other team. You know, they are a physical team. They will wear you down, body and soul.
Yeah, but does Russell Wilson fuck us? They looked pretty good in the first half last year against Denver.
A lot of that was Denver's collapsing. I mean, after that snap went over Manning's head, he looked like he didn't even care anymore. Like, Shelley even said it when we were watching it. They showed him on the sideline. She's going... Look at him. He looks like he's just lost the Super Bowl. It's 3 minutes in. Brady will never do that. I mean, and you can see that in the Baltimore game.
I just don't know how they're scoring.
New England?
With everything we talked about.
Yeah. Well, Seattle's not going to shut them out.
No.
And also, this weirdly functions as a partial hedge to us.
I know, but I don't think they're going to get the easy points that Green Bay got.
No, I don't think they'll get any of those easy points, but I still
don't
think they will put up 7 to 10
in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is New England's defense that good?
Well, it gets down to Russell Wilson isn't great. Seattle doesn't score a lot of points. They get field goals in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, but is their defense going to score a touchdown or 2 in this game?
Well,
like, I don't know. It seems counterintuitive to bet against. Like, we're
I
both strongly
disagree
Seattle.
because for the last 5 weeks of the season, we were always just saying, like, Seattle doesn't score a lot. How many are they going to score? And it's like, and then you look and they put up 28. Well, 21 of those were in the fourth quarter. And that's why I kind of like the first half going to New England.
Yeah, no, I get your logic there.
Seattle is like an old classic team in that their advantage grows the longer the game gets. Just because every tackle is punishment. Every run by Lynch, when a safety has to come up and help, that safety feels it and doesn't come in quite so hard the next time he comes. They build on their physicality and they build on their momentum.
But they have nobody on their defense that's played in a Super Bowl before besides Will Fork.
Well, Chung did, but I don't even know if they dress him anymore.
Fuck.
I don't know. You've heard my argument.
No, I know. I just. Yeah, okay.
All right.
So we have the Patriots minus half a point. $10 pays $20.50 for the first half. Now, seeing there's no second half line, do you want to put another $10 down on Seattle?
Like,
or do we save it and
make
make a
20?
halftime bet?
We can either make a halftime bet or...
Holy fuck. Oh, no, it's 1. I was thinking it would move half a point, but that was the first half spread.
What's the over-under number in the game?
Too high.
That's why I was thinking under.
47.5. I hate those fucking things.
I know you do.
You know I hate them.
Okay, well, we don't have to. Then.
I hate cheering against... It's the worst possible bet. It's worse than any prop bet.
It's like playing low-ball poker? Is that what you're saying?
It's just brutal. Because every time I bet the over, nobody scores.
I don't want to push you into
no.
a bet
I just,
that makes
I know,
no fun
just hear
for
me
you,
out.
So.
It's overs that's 21-14 at the half, and when it's the under, it's when it's the over, it's fucking 7-3 at the half, and when we've taken the under, there's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we're 1 point away from losing.
Yeah.
And I'm.
Like, I was
Those
just
bets
glancing
take
at
me out
the
of the
over-under number today, and I honestly thought it would be closer to the 41 range.
The over-under takes me out of the game.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm not invested in a team. I'm invested in a fucking number, and it drives me nuts.
All right.
Because I even lose the excitement in the game thinking, and I know we bet relatively nothing on these fucking things. It shouldn't affect me that way.
Yeah.
But I lose, if it's a close game, I want to be worrying about who's winning, not the score.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I knew this was a stretch. That's why I didn't even bring it up in the pre-podcast, but I was thinking we were betting second
save
half line. Yeah, let's save it, and we'll be in
We'll
text
tweet it out.
contact on Super Bowl, and we'll tweet out.
Yeah.
We'll tweet out late in the first half where we're going. And I have had
if
good
it
luck.
works
I
out,
have had good luck with those bets when I've been in Vegas.
and if it works out how we've bet the first half and end, if it works out that New England's ahead at the half, we might be getting some good value. If they're ahead by 4 or 7, New England, we might get good money at the half.
No, let's
on
save
Seattle.
that bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's just,
yeah.
It gives us something to think about, too. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be.
Get more juice going on the second half.
All right, I like that plan. Well then, to summarize, we have taken the Seahawks on the money line. $10 pays in 1952. We have, perhaps counterintuitively, but I think I made a decent case, we have taken New England minus a half point in the first half. 10 pays 20.50.
All right. Okay, so tomorrow night we're going to do, so this will get posted on Wednesday, and then Thursday our props show will get posted. That's probably the most fun one of the year. For me, the betting one is probably the most fun.
Yeah, I also
pressure.
like our preseason futures just because we haven't gambled in so long. We don't do well on them, but I really enjoy that pot.
Yeah, that's true. That one's really fun too. But this one, there's no pressure because it's not like, oh, we're making some long argument like we did tonight on who to pick. This is just fun.
Yeah.
Which is 99% of the reason we do the podcast.
Yeah.
We have fun betting small amounts of money on on things we have no control over.
Yeah. And I will also point out that last year we killed on our props. So
yes, we did. All right. If you want to check out our podcast, you can listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines, or our personal Twitter accounts at OLinesMarlon or at OLinesBoyd. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and that was our Super Bowl game bet show.
Fuck Balghazi.
Generous fucking gambler.